This is pretty much the first time I've played a bass in 5 weeks. I've been away for the summer, my wife's from France and I've been there. And now I'm back in my new studio and I need to get back in shape. Just playing for the first time, I can feel blisters forming and it's just not going well. So in this lesson, I thought I'd go over a few strategies that I use to get back in shape, and hopefully they'll be useful to you. So I have a backing track here. We've got 2 chords. The notes are very simple, just F sharp to G. I'm going to start with those root notes right now. We have an F sharp minor 7 chord going to a G major 7 chord. I might get into a little bit of the theory later and certainly what notes you can play over it. But I want to start off straight away with something simple. And that's going to be 8th notes like this. It's 2 bars, so that was 1 bar. To the G. You can download this backing track for free. I'll put a link right below and I'll play to that now. For this lesson, I'm using my 5-string Stingray, so don't be confused by this B string. I'll have a few patterns for you on fretboard diagrams that you can download too, but we're looking at the 2nd to 3rd fret of the E string, okay? Ignore this one. Really what I'm trying to do here is just get a feel for the bass again. Get used to the touch of it, get used to playing in time. That's why I'm using that backing track. When I first picked up the bass, I was quite tempted just to play some scales up and down, you know. And I did that even without a cable in, just sitting on a sofa, just getting used to that again. That's a good thing to do. But I found myself yearning for a bit of playing actual music, hence this type of thing. Let's add in a 5th and an octave, this pattern here. And then when you go to the G, same pattern. When we're crossing strings here, I'm required to be a little bit more dexterous, so that's why we're doing that now with the backing track. I've been playing bass for 33 years or so, but a few weeks off, I'm already feeling the fingers there. So if you're new to bass and you get that, you know, abrasion against the strings, it feels a bit like you're going to form blisters. You can play through that pain a bit, but no joint and wrist pains. If you're ever feeling that kind of pain, stop your practice session. But this is okay. I'll just have to get through it, and sometimes you do as well. The next day, the skin will be just a bit harder, then you grow calluses and you're there. So that's what I was doing there, just this sort of idea of keeping this. That's what I'm doing actually. It's a short, long kind of groove. I'm coming off the root note to keep it short. And anything around using those notes will work really nicely. It's about touch, control, technique, but also getting the enjoyment and the excitement of bass playing back. So what I want to do now is introduce a few more notes. We're going to use these 2 shapes. So over the minor chord, we can use a minor pentatonic, F sharp minor pentatonic. That's 1 octave. I quite like to use the G string as well. Any of those notes sound good. You've got the 5 and the octave as well as the root in there, as well as a bunch of other choice notes. Anyway, they will all work. Then we have G, and we have G major pentatonic. There are a number of shapes on this that you can use, and I'll link a lesson right here to some others, but I'll show you this one. That's 5 notes. That's the scale. G, A, B, D, E. I like that too because you can just very, very quickly and easily transfer it to the 5th fret of the D string, and you've got loads of notes now. Quite a bit of shifting going on. This is great for technique, getting back into it. The shifts are going to be challenging. I can also slide, do all kinds of intricate expressive techniques. Let's try that. See, at the end there I can feel it just going a bit wrong, stumbling a bit. That's fine, it's practice. So there I was, just trying to have a bit of fun with it, making up some bass lines. If you're new to making up bass lines, well, you need the note choices that will work. I've just given you those. The technique needs to be there. I just felt myself at the end there stumbling and not quite knowing where I was going. That's fine, that's just practice, that's getting back into it. For me, consistency is key. This many weeks away for me, I know that it's just all not there, the stamina, the accuracy, the fluency, and that just comes with playing and practicing every day, really. There's not really many ways around that. Now let's try some moving into different portions of the bass. On the G chord there, I was sliding up a bit, using those shapes. And that gets me out of just one position. So that's what I want to do now. And before I do, I'll show you the kind of thing I'm going to do. We've got an F sharp, 2nd fret E string. 1 octave higher is 9th fret of the A string. And I want to just play around with that idea, just going from one note. And I'm going to slide in a sort of come together inspired way. I recently made some lessons of patterns you can use around minor and major, so I'll link to those down below. But when I go to the F sharp up here, I know that 2 frets lower, just like we did here, is the E, the minor 7th. So I know those notes will work. That's all to do with knowing your patterns. As I know, the same frets on the E string will work, i.e. the 7th and the 9th. And the 7th of the D string as well. So maybe just those notes. So fret 7, 9 on the E and the A, and fret 7 on the D. Let's just use just those notes, so something like that. We go to the G. Our note choices change a bit. The pattern of the G to the G is the same number of frets as from the F sharp to the F sharp. That's an octave pattern, it never changes. But this is a major 7 chord now. So the next note down we want to play is a major 7th, and it's right next to that G. If that theory blinds you a bit, I've got a music theory course that goes into intervals and patterns and everything. Again, link below. So, let's use maybe just those 3 notes. I'll go G, 10th fret, A string. 1 fret lower on the 9th. I know that works. And then the same fret as the G, 10, on the E string. That's the note D. So something like this. Simple. Now we're moving to the G. Ghost notes, trying to make it musical. Now with the backing track. I'm not going to do loads and loads of practice in front of you, but I'm sort of starting to get into it now. If I were to do a practice session right now, I'd play for an hour, just ideas around this. Of course, there are loads of other things you can do too. This is just the thing I happen to be thinking of. But when I played the groove, I kept it simple. It's very easy when you slide and you haven't played for a long time, maybe just to overshoot the mark and not get to where you want to go. That's touch, right? So the more you play this thing, the more you become at one with it. And when you're away from it from a long time, and I know a lot of you that watch this channel are coming back to bass from sometimes decades away from it. So I feel your pain. You know, this is just a few weeks for me, and it feels slightly alien. And it's just about becoming one with it. That's just more and more time that you spend with it, that will happen. Towards the end, I played something like that. Let me show you this now. And here's where we can play almost like scale exercises, as well as making something up as well. So over the F sharp minor chord, minor 7, we can play a mode. I'll explain that a little bit after I show you it, and we'll just play one octave. It's an F sharp Phrygian mode. Goes like this. I'm using one finger per fret, fingers 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, and 1, 3. We can stay in the same position, play the G, and actually play the same notes, finishing on a G. You get a G Lydian. I'll explain that. We are in the key actually of D major. I don't know if you know D major, but it's one of the scales you should know. It's got an F sharp and a C sharp, otherwise it's the notes of the alphabet. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Those are the notes. If you play those notes starting on a different degree of the scale, that's just simply the number within the scale. All of those notes are different degrees. If you start on the 3rd degree of the scale, the F sharp, and play the notes of D major, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, you get what's called a mode. Get a scale from chord from that as well. F sharp minor 7 in this case. Same thing on G, you get a G Lydian. This isn't really a theory lesson, so I'll move on, but I thought you might be interested in that. You have 2 modes and you can play them over each. Let's do that now. I will probably just play up and down and then make something a little more musical up. Right, I'm starting to get into it now. What I was doing there was a root note groove, G now. Those notes fit over that chord, so they all work. Minor pentatonic. It just sounds quite rocky, quite bluesy. I love that scale. G. That's the major pentatonic starting higher up. So of course this is knowing your patterns. For me, even being away from the bass for 5 weeks, I'm actually very solid on the patterns. That doesn't really go, nor does your knowledge of theory. For me, what goes is the technique, the stamina, the accuracy, those things. So that's what I want to focus on above all else, is to get that going. I don't know how long it's going to take me. It doesn't matter. You've got to be bullish with this. You've got to be resilient. You've got to turn up every day and practice, something I've not done for the last 5 weeks. I've got to get back into it. I would suggest at least 10 minutes a day. If you're anything like me, look, I'm lucky I've got this studio. I've just set it up. I'm going to do a video on it, by the way. Definitely let me know if you want me to do that. I'm looking around. I love it now. The last studio, if you've been watching my channel, it was too pokey and small, and I couldn't even open the door to get in. I didn't want to come in. Now I want to play. I really want to play. And that's what you've got. You've got to want to do it, and you've just got to show up. For me, I want to play for a long time now. But if you've got 10 minutes, just do 10 minutes every day. That's enough. for now. Next thing, I might just pull out a different technique, just slap. Maybe even just on octaves. For me, I have to commit to that. I have to go for it. With slap, certainly for me anyway, sometimes if I haven't been playing, I'm just a bit cautious, you're out of time and it's not quite there. You've got to be accurate with slap, certainly. So that's why I would practice that. That really is timing for me. I'm trying to relax. I'm just trying to get everything together. Obviously, I would just do more than the seconds I'm showing you. But perhaps try that, or a plectrum or pick, if that's what you're using. Just getting it back. So that's something I might do. And then finally, if you watch the intro, I was just playing a bass solo and I was using all the ideas and all the neck just to create the ultimate freedom, really, of expression. I need to know the notes. I need to be able to get there. Phrasing and linking ideas. I'm going to show you these two arpeggios to start with your ideas in this little section. So we have this, which really is just your minor pentatonic scale missing out a note. All of those chord tones, as they're called, will fit very nicely over the F sharp minor 7 chord. And then for the G major 7 chord, you've got this. Let's add a 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. See the pattern? You're going up in thirds, missing out a number every time. Those notes will sound excellent. Let's try it. That was just using the chord tones, but how about using the chord tones with some of those other ideas? Minor pentatonic, F sharp minor pentatonic to G major pentatonic. Okay, that will work, as will the mode. Just transfer the pattern from down there to up here on the 9th fret of the A string. And then the G. Do you remember I told you that this all came from D major? If you know D major, you could just play that. That would work. I'm going to play that again. I'm going to start off very obviously, I'll mark this out, doing the arpeggios, then doing the modes, then doing the minor pentatonic, then a mix. That sort of thing for me is the ultimate in just expressing myself in the moment using all of the ideas that I've given you up to now. And you're never far away from a mistake if you haven't played for a while, probably why I just stopped right there. What I'm trying to do here is just to be musical and to connect any idea I have in my head musically. So it isn't just a technique thing of getting the fingers back together, it's a mindset thing as well of creating music. At least it is for me. I always want my practice to sound musical and have some relevance to real playing, because that's how I turn up again to practice. That's how I like the sound of it. It just makes sense to me. I do like scale drills up and down as well. I've got plenty of those on the channel as well. So could you let me know if you do want me to do a studio tour? Where the camera is right now on either side, I've got these 2 Warwick rock bass flight cases with loads of basses. I've got a rack over there, and yeah, I'd like to show you. If you want to see that, let me know. Thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. If you could subscribe and like the video, share, that would be brilliant. I'm trying to grow the channel as much as possible. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next lesson. Thanks very much.